and enjoy your breakfast. Again, ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, the program will begin momentarily. Please take your seats and remember, turn off your cell phones. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, YW supporters. I am Karen Smith, President of YWCA Delaware Board of Directors. And on behalf of YWCA, I extend a very special welcome to all of you for joining us. Each year, we look forward to celebrating the successes of our clients, the dedication of our staff, and the commitment to our amazing supporters whose generosity makes this work we do possible. This year, we have so much to celebrate, including expanding the impact of the programs you supported to change more lives than ever before. We are honored to celebrate and thank all our advocates who have joined us today in person and remotely. Thank you for coming together and for inspiring hope in our communities. I would like to give a huge thank you to my fellow board members, our event volunteers, table captains, and YWCA staff who work so hard for today's success and for the betterment of others each and every day. I'd also like to give a special shout out to Ray Jones Avery for her tremendous engagement and support in connecting others to our YW mission. I am honored to welcome our event co-chairs, Diane Rogerson, Deputy CTO for U.S. Banks at Morgan Stanley. Diane is responsible for bank technology, risk and governance teams, and for the Money Movement Technology Platform. She is the treasurer for the Board of Jobs for Delaware grads and also a former YWCA Delaware board member and a personal friend. Dr. Phyllis Chambers Mobley, who is the first African American female optometrist in Delaware. She is also on the staff of Nemours Senior Care, the president of Pearls of Hope Foundation, Inc., and a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, Inc., and soon to be a good friend. We'd like to thank our dedicated sponsors and include a special acknowledgement for our lead sponsors, JP Morgan Chase, United Medical, and DuPont. For over 128 years, YWCA has served the people of Delaware, especially its women. For your support, we have expanded our community housing services, increased our SARC crisis response rate, and increased our impact on Delaware youth, all while expanding our advocacy efforts to improve racial and social justice and equity in our communities. We uplift women, girls, and their families through our programs and services and bear witness to their achievements and growth. We can proudly share that we served almost 9,000 people in 2022. This demonstrates our focus in inspiring hope and encouraging change. This morning, you will hear from several courageous women whose lives have improved today after participating in YWCA Delaware ongoing programs overcoming adversity and obstacles to achieve a better future. As a donor and a board member, they motivate me to advocate, support, and contribute my time and financial resources to create a stable, safe, and inclusive environment for future generations. I hope you will be equally inspired by these women as we honor their journeys and triumphs. Each of them wanted to tell you what YWCA has meant for their lives. A special thank you to our Changing Lives Society members, recognized by the orange ribbon on their names, tags, and our influencers. These wonderful individuals have chosen to stand for eliminating racism and empowering women through their long-term financial commitment to YWCA. Because of their generosity, we are confidently move forward to encourage change and inspire hope for a brighter future. We have some amazing stories to share with you all during today's program, so please stay with us. Again, welcome and enjoy your breakfast. We will return shortly with the rest of this morning's program. So I hope you're enjoying your breakfast and your coffee. And so please continue. But now, if I can get your attention, because I have a special treat for you all. Now I have a special treat for you. Alicia Shu, opera singer and former participant of the YWCA program, and an amazing young woman who has a very successful fundraising effort for YWCA, will honor us by singing a song that is intended to inspire hope and compassion. Please welcome Alicia Shu.
Oh, I'm a lot taller now than I was yesterday. Real quick, I just want to say a huge thank you to the YWCA for giving me this opportunity. I hope you leave here today feeling inspired and feeling motivated to create some more change in the world. So thank you so much for being here. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. I trusted that grace appeared. The I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I discover this grace that brought me safe thus far, and this will lead me home. When there 10,000 years bright shining as the sun, we stands to sing God's praise, then it's begun. I still can't believe I have to follow that performance, and I am a lot shorter than Jiz. Thank you so much, Alicia, for that amazing performance of a song that has become a symbol of hope through social and political turmoil, as well as a message of forgiveness and salvation. We're so grateful for young leaders like you who amplify the impact of the YW mission through your own service and talent. So thank you. That was amazing. Good morning, YW supporters. I'm Melissa Sonville, Chief Executive Officer of YWCA Delaware, and I'd like to welcome you to our annual celebration breakfast. It is truly an honor for me to be supporting the impactful work of YWCA Delaware. This year's theme of inspiring hope and encouraging change honors our advocates, our supporters, board, staff, and volunteers for their wide-ranging efforts to bring positive change and support to our communities and to our clients. Everyone who engages in our mission by providing their time, their talents, and their treasure inspires me and provides inspiration and much-needed support to the people that we serve every day. Margaret Mead once said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." I am so proud to be part of this group of amazing citizens who are changing the world for the better every day, embracing our mission of eliminating racism, empowering women, and promoting peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all. How are these citizens creating change? By providing programs and services that serve women and families across Delaware, lifting people up to achieve economic empowerment, improved health and safety, and social equity. From staff, board, and volunteers to donors and advocates, you make a positive impact that resonates across our communities and creates lasting change in every individual that's touched by your kindness. I'd like to take a moment to thank and celebrate our board members, staff, and committed volunteers. Please stand to be recognized. I'd also like to recognize the public officials and their staff who have consistently supported us in our efforts to affect change in the state. We have several of them with us here today: Senators Sarah McBride and Kyle Gay, Representatives Stephanie Bolden and Kendra Johnson, Newcastle County Executive Matt Meyer, and Councilwoman Brigitta Fields are with us today. Please go ahead and stand to be recognized. Thank you. As many of you know, while YWCA strives to go above and beyond by providing life-changing services that are rooted in our core values of eliminating racism and empowering women, we enact inspiring change for future generations while also helping to heal those that we're serving right now. As many of you know, our services are needed now more than ever as we navigate racial and social injustices, higher prices, increased levels of poverty and homelessness, and a lack of affordable housing, not only across our state, but across the nation. YWCA Delaware responds to these challenges by focusing our efforts on improving economic and housing security, health and safety, and social equity for women and their families, with particular attention on issues that affect people of color. In the past year, we've achieved significant service and advocacy goals. I'm going to tell you about a few of those right now. Last year, 5,800 individuals accessed our support for survivors of domestic and sexual violence through the multiple resources at our Sexual Assault Response Center. SARC's crisis hotline, case management, counseling, medical and legal accompaniments, advocacy, and support groups ensured that our survivors felt supported, empowered, and in control of their decision-making on their path to recovery. In our housing program, 634 individuals found emergency shelter, transitional housing, rental assistance, and overall refuge from the dangers of sleeping on the street or from a dangerous home situation at YWCA's Home Life Management Center. And this is up from 363 last year due to the growth and success of our community housing programs such as rapid rehousing and shelter diversion. We are so proud of the success of our home life clients, 94% of whom successfully transitioned into affordable housing and independent living after leaving our programs. To address economic disparities that women and minorities face in our community, this past year we economically empowered 483 individuals who work closely with YWCA staff in our financial empowerment, work readiness, and home ownership programs, leading to improvements in their financial literacy, as well as in their income, either through employment or entrepreneurship. An incredible accomplishment I want to highlight here as well. 94% of our foreclosure clients achieved housing stability after working with YW's housing counselors, even in this market. In 2022, over 1,600 individuals also participated with us in our YWCA racial justice and social advocacy programs and education, which really help people gain the willingness, the tools, and the awareness that they need to affect change not only in themselves, but also in our institutions and our policies. And I want to just give a shout out to an example of this in your bags that you received today. There's a 25% discount to attend our White Ally workshop, which is happening in October. So if you're interested in that, we're giving a 25% discount to anyone who is here today. We empowered, last but not least, we empowered almost 500 youth through our emergence programs that help youth to maximize their personal and educational potential. These amazing young leaders, one of whom you've heard from today singing, learned to work toward their goals that supported their social and economic mobility and challenged them to become independent thinkers, advocating for their own success. All in all, YWCA Delaware touched the lives of almost 9,000 people in 2022, and we're on track to do the same again this year. We at the YW are focused on inspiring hope in our clients and our constituents and encouraging change in our communities, our systems, and our policies as we look to a future with a more just and equitable society. As Mother Teresa once said, "I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the water to create many ripples." We can only inspire hope, create change, and cast these ripples with the support of all of you, so we thank you. Having been around for 128 years, YWCA Delaware has changed with the needs of the community. Our clients and advocates have taught us that it's what we do in the moments following the aftermath of feeling completely defeated that shape us and define us. Our clients, staff, and advocates inspire hope and encourage change daily to help break cycles of violence, poverty, and discrimination. This is what eliminating racism and empowering women looks like. So please enjoy your breakfast as you see all of that in action in the video.
I was running a nursery school actually for a small church. Many of the women who were bringing their children in were having challenges around family violence and domestic violence. And I went to the pastor and I said, is there a way that we could meet some of their needs? And he said, well, I don't know about that. That's a pretty uncomfortable conversation.
I'm a survivor. I was in their position at one time. And I had no one. I had to navigate the system by myself. And that is no place to be when you've just experienced such a trauma.
I am a single mom. I have one son, 18. I've never thought I would be in this situation. I had a really good job. I was there 18 years. Thought I was going to retire.
When I grew up, I always wanted to be the person that I needed. I missed a lot of opportunities just about different careers that I could have explored as an adult.
I've always been a student of American history, and I started my postgraduate studies looking at the causes of the Civil War. And it turns out that some of the history I was taught was incomplete. The more I learned, the more I realized that race and racial injustice were a part and fiber of the history of our country.
I started having problems with my vision and found out that I had to have cornea transplants on both eyes. I just had a cornea transplant on my left eye, and I have to have my right eye done. In the midst of me going through all that, unfortunately, my landlord went through his situation, and he had to start selling his properties. So the house that I thought I was going to own was no longer an option, and unfortunately he had to sell. And I wasn't prepared financially to find another place. I came in on a walker. I just got out the hospital. I was in a dark place. I didn't know what was going to happen. I'm on the phone with Josiah for the housing. Ms. Verster is my case manager. We get on Zoom calls, so we all on a call together trying to make sure I obtain the goals that I need to reach. When you're with your case manager, you know, you have action plans, and they expect you to do those action plans at your next appointment with them. My ultimate goal is to own a home. I know when I leave here, it doesn't just stop when I leave the door. I know they're going to follow up. I know if I need help, I know I can call them and they will give me the resources or put me on the right path.
Through our initial phone conversations, Nicole had advised me that she was indeed homeless and living at the YWCA along with her son. She did tell me, you know, that she was working with the counselors there, trying to get her on track in hopes of purchasing her first home. Having experienced homelessness during my childhood, I definitely know what it feels like to be homeless and feel helpless. I knew that we really had to get on this. I immediately started researching, sending Nicole properties that were available in her price range and her budget so that we could go ahead and start the process of helping her find her home. There's a misconception that you cannot get a house unless your credit is top notch or if you have thousands of dollars in the bank. That is a complete misconception. You can go ahead and start doing money management, budgeting, strategically planning what needs to be done to help you achieve your goal of owning a home. There are so many programs that will help you with the down payment, with your closing costs, with the first month's mortgage payments.
Thank you. Oh, you do that. I'm so proud of you, girl.
The youth are our future. They're our future politicians, our future leaders, our future decision makers. We need to take care of their feelings and emotions so that they know that they can do anything.
Just because I'm young doesn't mean that I can't push for change.
I know more about the kind of leader I want to be in the future going through this program.
I definitely think it's important for us to be able to speak with the legislators and share our opinions because we are the community.
The prevention work that we do in the schools and the tablings that we do out in the communities to talk about healthy relationships and talk about consent, talk about red flags in an unhealthy relationship, all of those things, teaching people out in the community, that does inspire change.
The fact that the young people turned out to vote in the 2022 election, that gives me a ton of hope that we can move forward with efforts to create a country, a place where everybody can thrive.
It's not easy work.
We provide services to victims of domestic violence and sexual assault and human trafficking. I go to the police stations, the hospital, to court. We provide hotline assistance to victims that call in and need resources and support after they've experienced trauma.
That first half year, we served about 200 women and men with 2 full-time staff and about half a dozen volunteers. And slowly it just built up until right before COVID, we were serving about 3,800 individuals a year statewide. And then COVID increased our capacity even more. We added a couple more positions right before COVID. And suddenly I was reporting on grant numbers and realized that we had passed over serving 15,000. I knew we would get there. I knew that's why we were here. It's a lot.
It is a lot. Yeah.
And our fight against hate and bias is really a never-ending struggle. Self-awareness of awakening, and when it seems like things are getting better, it's time to work harder.
The world is not over. You just going through a rough time. You're going to get better.
It takes all of us to link together to inspire hope and encourage change.
We just do it. That's what we do. That's who we are.
Thank you. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our first client speaker, LaCarrie, who's a past client who received services at our Home Life Management Center, as well as our Sexual Assault Response Center.
Good morning. My name is LaCarrie Wilkes. I'm not one to usually feel like I need help. I always call myself very strong and independent, but that's my weakness. Always thinking I don't need help when it's okay to get help. I was first introduced to the YWCA once through a program in which they had a flagging course that I took. I completed and learned that they had multiple classes and programs and stayed in touch. But during COVID, when everybody was in isolation and the world was shut down, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease called Addison's. And I believe that's when I started to lose myself. I was scared to be alone and started dating a guy. I didn't know at the time that he saw my weaknesses and thrived on them. I moved in with who I thought was Mr. Perfect, but behind closed doors, he was the total opposite of perfect. I found myself in a mentally and verbally abusive relationship in which he used my sickness and me being a single mom against me. When I thought of mental abuse, I can tell you I didn't know what it was until I was introduced to the YWCA SART program. I didn't realize all the mean and nasty things he was doing and saying was messing with me mentally and causing me not to be the person I truly was. I lost myself during that time, and in the relationship, it turned more violent with threats of killing me, and because of that, I tried to leave. I was stalked, harassed, and feared for my safety. I knew it was time to go. I did my research and found out about the Housing Alliance, where they told me about the YWCA's Housing for Families. And I applied and talked to the intake counselor, who told me to come in with my things that I could bring, which was one bag of belongings. And just like that, I waited till he went to work and disappeared with my son. When I arrived at the Home Life Management Center, I went to the intake with my case manager, and they brought me into the room where I felt safe, knowing that that monster couldn't hurt me anymore. I was taught about counseling through SARC and that there were programs that could help me with housing. I temporarily stayed at the Home Life building for 6 to 7 months. And throughout those months, my counselor, Ms. Royster, was very helpful. She helped me sign up for the Rapid Rehousing program, in which they connected me to another agency who helped me find my house that I'm still in today. And also, it was a great new start for me. They helped with 3 months of funding of rent and security deposit. It was a great new start because throughout that whole program, I was introduced with opportunities to find a better job so that I could move into that new home. I was blessed with the Christmas program that my family got adopted and blessed us with an abundance of gifts so that I could give my son Christmas. They even gave me a beautiful gift basket warming for my house. And I started doing more self-care and got into pageants. The YWCA also helped me with that by sponsoring me and helping me with funding. And here I am today, the local title winner, Miss Bear 2022 for America Strong. My journey is far from over, but the YWCA has done a huge favor in many of ways for me. That is why I'm now an advocate for the YWCA and a volunteer to help others that may have the same story as me. I love the YW's mission and values and will continue to let others know about them so that they don't give up. And a quote that I say to myself, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. And that tunnel may be dark, but if you make it through, the blessing at the end will shine. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. My name is Tracy Crook, and I started my personal journey towards anti-racism when years ago I read the book By the Warmth of Other Suns by Isabel Wilkerson. I was delighted when I learned I could continue my anti-racist journey with the YWCA Racial and Social Justice Program, starting in 2018. It was during this time I became acutely aware of the pervasive issue of racism, and then that knowledge has profoundly transformed my life. I vividly recall my initial participation in the Dialogue to Action group, where I candidly admitted my prior lack of awareness regarding the extent of police brutality against Black individuals until the surge of video footage over the past 15 years. A fellow participant, a Black woman, turned to me and asked, "How could you not know?" And a white woman quickly countered, "Because we have the privilege of not knowing." That simple exchange encapsulated it all for me. I had the privilege of choosing whether or not to confront the realities of a systemically racist system, as it did not directly impact my life. What a profound privilege that is. This prompted me to ponder, what am I going to do about it? And it's a question that continues to challenge me daily. I actively participated in a book study centered around How to Be a Racist by Ibram X. Kendi with the YW. This book emphasized the necessity of policy changes for a more equitable nation. When the pandemic struck, the YW swiftly transitioned to online programming, offering several book studies in which I eagerly took part and later became a facilitator of. The first book study I joined was Waking Up White by Debbie Irving. This book resonated deeply with me because it mirrored my own narrative. I grew up in all-white middle-class communities. My families were members of the country club. And I was taught that by subscribing to beliefs such as living as a white person would guarantee a successful and happy life, and the persistent myth that hard work inevitably leads to success. One powerful revelation in the book was the discussion about the author's father, similar to mine, were World War II veterans who were entitled to privileges when they came back from the war, like lower interest rates on home mortgages and the ability to go to college on the GI Bill. Shockingly, Black American soldiers returning from the war were not afforded the same opportunities despite making the same sacrifices. Throughout the pandemic and in the wake of the tragic events surrounding George Floyd, I had the honor of facilitating a couple of book studies for the YWCA. This allowed me to actively contribute to the YW's mission of eliminating racism, and I continually learned from and guided others on a transformative journey. And in my involvement with the racial and social justice programs, has facilitated invaluable connections and forged relationships I will forever cherish. Therefore, when I assert the programs I engaged in altered the course of my life, it's a testament to the personal growth, newfound dedication, and passion I now possess for justice and in making our communities more equitable. Last year, at the age of 60, I enrolled at the University of Delaware, where I'm currently pursuing a degree with a major in African American Studies and a minor in Women and Gender Studies. Thank you. While I can never truly comprehend the experiences of a person of color, I deeply value the personal stories that others have shared with me along the way. My commitment is to persist in this realm by advancing my education and advocating for all policies, including voting rights, police reform, making our communities safer from gun violence, and equal access to quality education, regardless of a child's skin color or zip code. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a pleasure to be here this morning. This is my daughter, Sophia Hughes, and I'm Melanie Hughes. I want to start off by telling you about my family. I'm married and I have two wonderful girls, which one stands beside me, Sophia, and I have a 14-year-old Sarah Hughes, and she attends Cab Calloway School of the Arts, and a handsome husband named David, just in the picture there. My family moved from the small town of Kennesaw, Georgia, to Wilmington, Delaware. Things were not going too well for us in Georgia, and my mother-in-law's health was declining. So we decided to relocate to be closer to her in Delaware. When we moved here, we were unemployed and had no place to stay. Unfortunately, we could only stay with my mother-in-law for 3 days because she lives in a senior living home. After staying in our car for a couple of days, we went to social services for guidance. And they told us we had to stay at a hotel until a room became available for our family at the YWCA. We stayed in the hotel for about a month before we received notice of an opening at the YWCA's Home Life Management Center. When we walked through the doors of the YWCA, we were welcomed by the Home Life case manager. They took my family and I to our rooms, and I felt a sense of relief to know our rooms were connected to each other and we could stay together as a family. Home Life kept our family together. As a mother, that was very important to me. I tried to protect my children from the reality of us being homeless and make things normal. But as much as I tried, it never felt normal. While in Home Life's emergency housing program, my husband and I participated in YWCA's culinary training and quickly found jobs. Within 2 months of staying at Home Life, we were employed and found an apartment. Since we left the YWCA Delaware, we've noticed all the Y's new programs and resources, which are now helping to continue to propel my family forward on our journey of recovery and self-sufficiency. Through my experience, I come to recognize that we all need compassion and that there is an urgent need to spread knowledge and awareness about the real life experiences living in shelter systems and being homeless. Not everyone leaves for work to return to a comfort and safety of a home. Many people around us endure the challenges of homelessness and are in shell shock. It is our collective duty to spread awareness about homelessness and work together towards viable housing solutions for all. Sometimes the memories from my children brings tears to my eyes, yet other times their resilient spirit and desire to help others fills me with awe. I want to say thank you to the YWCA for being a blessing to my family and I. And now my daughter would like to share a few words with you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sophia Hughes, also known as Miss Delaware's Teen 2023, and I'm also a former Miss Wilmington's Teen and Miss Delaware June Teen. As you may know from my mother's speech before, that we were homeless, me and my family, a few years ago, and we stayed in the YWCA. Experiencing homelessness affected me mentally, emotionally, and physically. I felt alone, isolated, and depressed. This inspired me to be an advocate for homeless youth. I appreciate the YWCA for supporting youth just like me. Thank you for inspiring hope and a brighter future in the future generations of today. I choose to advocate for homeless youth rights and their resources because I was once the youth who needed to be supported and advocated for. I want other homeless youth to know that they are survivors. They are strong, intelligent, and brave. They are not defined by the stereotypes people put upon them, and they are not defined by their environment. They choose who they are, and the only one who can limit themselves are them. Remember to follow your passions and chase your dreams, and stay true to yourself. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carol Ann Wicks. As the current YWCA Treasurer and member of YWCA Board of Directors, I would like to add my welcome and thanks to all of you for being with us this morning. I think you all will agree after hearing the amazing difference YWCA has made in the lives of our speakers, it's easy to see that we are making extraordinary impact on our local communities, as well as on a state and national level, all thanks to your support. I speak for all board members when I say we are dedicated and committed to the work of the YWCA Delaware. It is evident that our services are needed now more than ever. What you've all heard today highlights the importance of our advocacy towards justice and the services we provide for those in need every day, for people of all races, of women fleeing abuse, for homeless families getting back on their feet, and for those struggling to combat economic injustices. Before I ask you to inspire hope and encourage change yourselves, I am proud to share that all board members have already made a meaningful financial commitment to this outstanding organization. Our investment is not just in YWCA Delaware. It's towards the lives of almost 9,000 people annually and their families. We understand that while the road to justice may be long, it is a journey we share together as dedicated advocates, and one that will strengthen not only our resilience, but the resilience of women and families for generations to come. It is our privilege to help. We are inspiring hope and encouraging change day by day together. Our brave speakers have courageously shared their journeys, trusting that their vulnerability will ultimately help others and shed light on the social and economic injustices our communities face day in and out. Our speakers were selfless enough to share how YWCA empowered them to find courage, heal, and rise to the occasion to reach their full potential. While difficult, their bravery and resilience in sharing their journey and through their testimony will help Delawareans in need. When thinking of what we wanted to ask you today, we decided to request that we really need most. We need your financial support for our day-to-day operations. It takes all of us here this morning to ensure our impact lasts, and with that, I have exciting news to share. Several generous donors have made a leadership gift to YWCA Delaware totaling $67,000. Any gift of $2,500 or more is eligible to be double matched, tripling your support. This could be $2,500 all at once, or a new pledge of $500 or more per year for 5 years. In addition, any new gift or increase over last year will be matched 1 for 1. We are incredibly thankful for the support we receive from all of you who count on us to uplift women and families. I also wanted to recognize the bequest from YWCA Delaware recently received from a longtime and cherished supporter, Ann Stanford, also included in your program. Anne and her family have been a tremendous source of support for the YWCA Delaware over the years, and we are extremely grateful that they included us in their planned giving. Most of us here have experienced a life of opportunity and security. We were fortunate to have social capital that kept us afloat during turbulent times in our lives. Circumstances were right for many of us. We have jobs, homes, and safety. Our children have a bright future. So your support helps YW bring new opportunities and resources to real women and families facing overwhelming challenges, breaking the cycle of poverty. This is your chance to make a difference, significant impact, and a difference in the lives that we serve. At this time, our table captains will distribute our pledge forms. Please fill out a form even if you are giving a one-time donation so that we have information to thank you later. If you have a pre-printed pledge form, please follow along. Note our QR code and text to give information on the back of the program. And if you're watching on your screen remotely, we will take you directly to YW's online donation page. We will give you a few minutes now to explore all of the giving options. As you can see on the form, there are multiple ways that you can make a recurring gift, whether you want to be an influencer, a sustaining contributor, or even part of the Changing Lives Society. You can also choose the frequency of your giving, pay on an existing pledge, or make a one-time donation. Remember, all donations and pledges will be matched, and any gift of a pledge of $2,500 or more will be double matched, tripling the impact. If you're a faithful giver and have already made a 5-year pledge, anything you give over and above this year's pledge payment qualifies for the match. If you are inspired by the testimonials that you have heard today and interested in getting more involved in YW, join the Changing Lives Society with a pledge of $1,000 or more per year for 5 years. Each year, this contribution is equivalent to helping a cohort of clients at our Home Life Management Center to complete digital literacy skills training. $2,000 or more per year for 5 years provides funding for emergency needs for survivors of domestic sexual violence. $5,000 or more per year for 5 years would provide summer camp programming for Delaware youth. If you prefer to generously give a one-time donation, you can do so by selecting that option on your pledge form, our donation page, or scanning the QR code in front of you. You can also select the pay on existing pledge if that option applies, but please also consider rising to the moment and making an additional gift to be matched. If you prefer giving monthly to spread your support throughout the year, select Sustaining Contributor and complete all steps. Whatever gift you choose to make today, a YWC representative will follow up in the near future in the case you need some assistance, so be on the lookout for our call. All donations are deeply appreciated and every dollar counts. Each donation helps us get closer to our goal of bringing new opportunities and resources to women and families in need. Whether you're becoming one of our partners in the Changing Lives Society, a new influencer, or a new donor, I sincerely want to thank you, each and every one of you, for supporting YWCA Delaware and the community we serve. We also want to thank you for your most valuable gift today, and that is your gift of time. Thank you so much.
It has been a pleasure and an honor to be here with you all today. I'm always inspired by these talks, and I just want to acknowledge all the folks who strongly, bravely told their stories. And thank you so much for your contribution today. And for all of our guests, I hope you all leave inspired, empowered, and knowing that your attendance and your gift are truly valued and appreciated by YWCA Delaware. Please return your forms to your table captains or host at this time. The YWCA staff have a table set up just outside this room to process payments or assist in any way that needed. If you are watching remotely, please make your gift now. Use your smart device. Visit www.ywcade.org/donate. Or you can scan the QR code on the program. And another option would be to text YWCA to 888-554-8664. So I'm going to repeat that. You can text YWCA DEORG to 888-554-8664. That'll give you access to the secure page to donate. A link to this recording of this event will be sent to everyone who registered. So please share what you've seen and heard today with a friend, a family member, or a colleague. You are all key motivators to inspire hope, encourage change, helping YW eliminate racism, and empower women. Help spread the word about the incredible work of this organization. As we prepare to close, I'd like to invite our board members, co-chairs, corporate sponsors, government officials, and staff to remain for some photo opportunities at the end. Again, thank you for joining us today. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we look forward to seeing you next year.